It's Thursday, the 27th of October, 2022. Welcome to the Fast Five by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 big stories today in 5 minutes. Let's jump into story number 1. Headline inflation has hit its highest level since 1990. You know it, opening the way for more interest rate rises in coming months.
Yeah, the Reserve Bank yesterday got a very clear signal that interest rates need to move higher, and market economists are tipping a 25 basis point increase on Tuesday next week and probably another one a month later. That would take the cash rate to 3.1%, though financial market investors reckon it could get closer to 4% sometime next year. Proof of that, the Aussie dollar surged after the announcement, pushing back above 64 US cents. Now, headline inflation rose 1.8% during the September quarter. Annual rate was 7.3%. The last 3 quarters have all exceeded any other quarter since the introduction of the GST in 2000. The preferred measure from the bank, which takes out all the volatile items, also rose 1.8%. Problem here is that inflation momentum is still building as opposed to having peaked and coming off. And that's what the Reserve Bank is going to be really worried about. Prices are going up all over the place. Higher building costs, gas prices, furniture prices, all sorts of things. Treasurer Jim Chalmers yesterday put it pretty plainly. He said inflation is the number one dragon we need to slay.
All right, on to story number 2, Sean, and it's actually kind of linked to story number 1. The big talking point from the federal budget over the past 24 hours is just how much energy costs are expected to rise. This is huge.
Sure is. Now, the budget itself was reasonably well received yesterday. Nothing flash, but it did seem to tick most of the boxes. The Coalition, the Greens, and the states, notably New South Wales, were critical of aspects of it. But as you said, what got most attention was the government's estimates on the cost of energy, up 20% in the first half of next year, 30% in the following year. It upset many, particularly since the government promised to reduce power bills by $275 at the last election. That promise is well and truly dead, and Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said as much yesterday. Now, Jim Chalmers confirmed that the government is considering more energy market interventions, saying the government is looking at doing something that can take the sting out of higher electricity prices. Pretty much everyone welcomed the ambitious plan to build 1 million houses over 5 years from 2024. Mind you, as some people pointed out, 200,000 houses a year isn't that unusual in a really good year. The other thing that was kind of interesting yesterday was the fact that the business community quite liked the budget, which isn't the natural response for a Labor budget.
All right, story number 3, Sean, the Medibank cyber breach situation. It just gets worse by the day. Yesterday, the health insurer said it was unable to confirm if the hacker has actually left the company's systems.
Yeah, incredible, isn't it? Already identified breaches have been closed, but there could be other as yet unknown breaches within the system right now. Medibank says it thinks the hacker has gone, but just can't say that definitively. Now, the company's share price tumbled 18% yesterday when it resumed trading on the ASX. And the chief executive said data of all of its 3.8 million customers had been accessed by criminals. But the insurer is required to keep health records for a lot longer than that, so more people could be affected. Obviously, the number of people affected will grow substantially from the 1,100 released records so far.
And Sean, it's just worth mentioning very briefly that in our longer daily show, which is called Fear and Greed, you can find that wherever you listen to podcasts, we actually have an interview today about cybersecurity, including some incredible audio of a cyber criminal actually leaving a voicemail demanding a company pay a ransom. It is incredible. Find Fear and Greed wherever you listen to podcasts. Story number 4, Sean, criminal money launderers are funneling billions of dollars of dirty cash through pokies in New South Wales pubs and clubs every year because of weak regulation.
In fact, a New South Wales Crime Commission review called pokies a safe haven for money launderers. The Commission said it couldn't tell how much of the $95 billion fed through pokies in the state annually were proceeds of crime, but it was many billions of dollars, mostly from drug dealing. The Commission said the state government should impose similar rules to the tough new laws imposed on casinos in New South Wales. If not, money laundering basically shifts from casinos to pubs and clubs.
All right, last story number 5. The owner of chocolate brands Cadbury and Toblerone, among others, will commit hundreds of millions of dollars into a sustainability fund in an effort to reduce child labour.
Yeah, look, modern slavery is a blight on global supply chains, and African nations are rightly becoming increasingly upset about child labour and pay rates in cocoa farming. Now, the owner of Cadbury and Toblerone has now committed $1 billion up to 2030 on the problem. According to the World Economic Forum, cocoa farmers in Ghana have an average income of about $1 a day. That's actually more than the Ivory Coast, where it's 78 US cents a day. This has all come to a head because those two countries have boycotted the World Cocoa Federation annual meeting, which is about to start in Brussels.
All right, that's it. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It's Thursday, the 27th of October, 2022. Remember to hit follow on the podcast and check out our other podcast, How Do They Afford That, with Canna Campbell, the founder of Sugar Mama TV. It's full of tips and tricks on making your money go a little bit further. This week's episode is all about managing the household budget. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.